We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to flag off India's first hydrogen-powered train from Haryana's Jind, also to inaugurate several developmental projects. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal leads high-level delegation to Finland for strengthening trade and investment ties, says India-EU FTA to unlock new opportunities. US and Iran trade intensified strikes on sixth night. US targets transport infrastructure. Tehran attacks US allies. IEA warns of growing threats to global oil insecurity. Trump alleges China compromised 2020 US election data, says US networks that refuse to broadcast speech should lose license. Wildfires rage in US and Europe amid soaring temperatures. Spain put on alert. Hazardous Canadian wildfire smoke choking millions. On to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to visit Jind in Haryana, where he will dedicate to the nation and lay the foundation stone of a series of transformative projects worth thousands of crores of rupees. The visit will also mark a major milestone in India's green mobility journey with the flagging off of the country's first hydrogen-powered train. More in this report.
A new chapter in Haryana's development journey is about to unfold. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Jind is expected to bring a major boost to rail connectivity, road infrastructure, healthcare, and sustainable transport, reinforcing the vision of Viksit Bharat. The centerpiece of the visit will be the flagging of India's first hydrogen-powered train on the Jind-Gohana-Sonipat section, powered by clean hydrogen fuel cells. The train represents a significant step towards decarbonizing Indian railways and advancing the country's green mobility ambitions. The project also strengthens Haryana's emerging role as a hydrogen energy hub.
हरियाणा के लिए गर्व की बात है, हमारे लिए जींद के लिए बड़े गर्व की बात है कि देश की पहली ट्रेन हाइड्रोजन ट्रेन जींद से सोनीपत के बीच में चलेगी.
During the program, the Prime Minister will dedicate and lay the foundation stone for multiple development projects across Haryana. PM Modi will dedicate to the nation the first phase of Delhi-Amritsar-Katra Expressway, built at a cost of 9,680 crore rupees. With this, the travel time between Delhi and Katra will be reduced from 14 hours to just 6 hours. Delhi-Amritsar journey will now be completed in just 4 hours instead of 8 hours. PM will also inaugurate the Ambala-Kalkan National Highway and the Jind-Gohana Greenfield Highway. Travel time between Jind and Gohana will now come down to just 40 minutes. Healthcare infrastructure will also receive a significant boost with new medical colleges and upgraded facilities expected to enhance access to quality healthcare, particularly in southern Haryana.
From the heart of Haryana, India is going to usher in a new era of clean mobility when Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday will flag off the country's first hydrogen-powered train on the Jind-Sonipat route, a landmark step towards cleaner, zero-emission rail transport. With camera person Piyush Verma, this is Tanvi Taneja for DD India in Jind, Haryana.
And for more on this, we are joined by Tanvi Taneja from Jind, Haryana. Well, Tanvi, good morning. Prime Minister Modi to flag off India's first hydrogen train today in a short while from now. Tell us what impact is it expected to have on the country's green mobility and, of course, the railway modernization efforts?
Yes, a huge step. In fact, India is going to usher in a new era of clean mobility with this hydrogen-powered train, the first in the country, rolled out today from Jind by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Well, it sets an example for the country to follow. 173 years ago, the first steam locomotive train ran in our country in Mumbai, and hence we saw the trains infrastructure transferring diesel to electric, and now hydrogen-powered trains. The formula is simple. Hydrogen, when combined with the atmospheric oxygen, it breaks down into the proton membrane fuel cells, where the electron combines and becomes water vapor, emits water vapor and heat as residue, and the proton membrane fuel cells then generate the power to power this train. I'm in one of the passenger coaches. It has 8 passenger coaches, this train. There are students excited. Right now, I have students from Jeend in this public school, very excited to be part of this journey. Guys, how are you feeling? How great has it been? The train is going to go in a few hours from now.
And I'm proud of my teachers, my parents, that I'm becoming part of this journey, because hydrogen train is becoming a great initiative for India, because it takes atmospheric oxygen and renewable energy, and it's also helpful in reducing pollution. And I'm thanking the Prime Minister for using G as a contest city and chance, but this chance is so bright, and I'm very thankful to Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yes, so you heard Lipakshi, the youth here understands the initiative zero emission powered hydrogen train being rolled out today on Jeend, and everybody, the Jeend people, the youth here, very excited that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to provide an impetus to Haryana as the engine. For the other is to also follow hydrogen-powered trains on shorter routes in the times to come. Yes.
Right, Tanvi, it's very important that the youth understands about green mobility. In fact, apart from the hydrogen train, there's a lot of infra push also from the side of the government, which is going to happen today. How will the expressways, highways and healthcare projects to be announced during the Prime Minister's visit help improve the connectivity and quality of life for the people of Haryana there?
Yes, so Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as we know, after Jeend is expected to go to Jalandhar and Chandigarh, a host of development projects, road and connectivity projects, healthcare, tertiary healthcare projects. If I talk of Jeend, in southern Haryana, he's going to launch a few projects. There are the Katra, Ambala highway, other highways also, which are going to reduce travel time on the Delhi-Amritsar Katra highway. It's going to reduce travel time significantly. Apart from that, there is a museum that he's going to virtually inaugurate, which is on the Sikh religion, archiving that. So, a host of development projects. The centerpiece here, of course, is the hydrogen powered train, in which I am in one of the coaches. Again, as I told you, this hydrogen, I was earlier speaking to Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. He said that it's not just the trains that hydrogen is going to be used in the times to come. It will be used in other mobility aspects of our country also. Trucks, trucks, small automobile vehicles. So the excitement there is just going higher from here, Lipakshi. And we're just hours away now. In fact, it's a Prime Minister's arrival.
Absolutely. A lot of excitement there. Thank you so much, Tanvi, for all that update. And India's first indigenous hydrogen-powered passenger train, named the Namo Green Rail, is scheduled for its official flag-off today from the Jeend railway station in Haryana. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will officially inaugurate the service. Now, the Union Minister of Railways, Ashwini Vaishnav, reviewed final preparations at Jeend and interacted with loco pilots and railway staff as well. Speaking exclusively with DD India, Ashwini Vaishnav highlighted the major milestone India has achieved in technology and modernization of the railways.
I have with me Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav ji. Sir, it's a proud day for Indian Railways. First hydrogen train on the Jeend railway station on bus. It moments now when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will flagging it off.
भारत में नई टेक्नोलॉजी को डेवलप करना और स्पेशली हाइड्रोजन बेस्ड प्रोपल्शन टेक्नोलॉजी को डेवलप करना, ये माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का बहुत बड़ा एक विजन है। इस विजन के तहत इस ट्रेन को डेवलप किया गया है और बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स टेक्नोलॉजी है। हाइड्रोजन को यूज करके 2400 किलोवाट की ये ट्रेन है, यानी 10 कोच की ट्रेन। इससे भारत ने टेक्नोलॉजी का एक बड़ा मुकाम अचीव किया है। रेलवे के मॉडर्नाइजेशन का जो कंप्लीट प्रयास है, उसी प्रयास में एक बड़ी कड़ी है।
सर, बहुत सारी कंट्रीज के पास ये टेक्नोलॉजी है, इसको विस्तार करने के लिए रेलवेज का क्या प्लान है?
इस टेक्नोलॉजी को डेवलप करना, इसको प्रयोग में लाना और बेसिकली make sure that it is properly used by our system and the entire ecosystem gets developed around it. That is the objective of this.
Sir, Railways has also set up a hydrogen refueling facility in Jeend. हम क्या प्लान कर रहे हैं कि ये और छोटे रूट्स पे और कंट्री में भी हाइड्रोजन पावर ट्रेन जाएं?
इस ट्रेन को स्टेबलाइज करेंगे। यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन रिफिल प्लांट भी बनाए, हाइड्रोजन प्रोडक्शन प्लांट भी बनाए और साथ ही साथ जींद एक ऐतिहासिक स्थान है। यहाँ पर एक कंप्लीट एक प्रॉपर एक सिस्टम, पूरा इकोसिस्टम बन रहा है हाइड्रोजन का। साथ ही साथ ये भी ध्यान रखा गया है कि ट्रेन में सारे सेफ्टी के फीचर्स हैं, उनका भी बहुत ध्यान रखा गया है। बहुत सारे इसमें सेफ्टी के फीचर्स हैं, आप अंदर जाके देखेंगे तो ध्यान में आएगा। हाँ, बहुत सारे सिस्टम्स हैं। ड्राइवर्स से भी बात की थी, लोको पायलट से भी। लोको पायलट्स का भी कहना है कि बहुत ही अच्छा पिकअप है गाड़ी का और बहुत ही अच्छी इसकी रनिंग है, क्वालिटी ऑफ रनिंग बहुत अच्छी है।
सर, इंडिया में हम और हाइड्रोजन ट्रेन अब एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं? पैसेंजर्स कैन बी सैटिस्फाइड कि दिस इज सेफ एंड कैन बी बोर्डेड?
या पहले इसको चलाएंगे।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर लीड इंडिया से बात करने के लिए। That was Ashwini Vaishnav, very proud at this moment when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will come and flag it off, the first hydrogen-powered train from Jeend railway station. With camera person Vinod Oja, Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
And later in the day, in Jalandhar, Prime Minister will inaugurate 75 redeveloped railway stations, including Jalandhar Cant, under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. Well, the inauguration of 75 Amrit stations across 20 states marks another significant milestone under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme, one of the world's largest station redevelopment programs. These stations have been transformed into modern, passenger-friendly facilities. Redeveloped in the spirit of Virasat Bhi, Vikas Bhi, the stations incorporate elements reflecting local culture, heritage and architecture as well. And moreover, PGI MER Chandigarh is set for a major healthcare boost with new facilities worth nearly 1,200 crore rupees. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Minister JP Nadda will inaugurate the Advanced Neurosciences Centre and Advanced Maternal and Childcare Centre while laying the foundation stone for a new critical care block. Here's more in this report.
North India's healthcare infrastructure is set for a major expansion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Health Minister JP Nadda are set to visit PGI MER Chandigarh on Friday to inaugurate two state-of-the-art healthcare facilities and lay the foundation stone for another in projects worth nearly 1,200 crore rupees. The projects include the Advanced Neurosciences Centre, the Advanced Maternal and Child Care Centre and the Critical Care Block. According to medical experts, the Advanced Neurosciences Centre will significantly enhance PGI MER's neurology and neurosurgery services.
न्यूरोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट एवं न्यूरोसर्जरी डिपार्टमेंट का उद्घाटन 1967 में हुआ था. Till 2026, neurology has had 25 beds and neurosurgery has also had 25 beds. So हमारा combined neurology neurosurgery ward was only 50 beds. Now with the inauguration of the Advanced Neuroscience Centre, we are going to have a giant leap from 50 to 400 beds. So this is a massive shot in the arm of our doctors.
The Advanced Maternal and Child Care Center will add nearly 300 beds, strengthening specialized care for mothers and newborns.
DM neonatology, जो DM neonatology का है, in India for the first time started in PGI Chandigarh. So it is in the fitness of things that the advanced maternal and child care is now being given to PGI along with services that will render, both cutting edge infrastructure, dedicated ICU staff and dedicated sisters and new technical staff which has been sanctioned. It is again a 300 bedded structure and it is something to really see. It is a fantastic effort.
The foundation stone for the critical care block will also be laid, further strengthening emergency and intensive care services at the institute. The expansion comes at a time when PGI MER caters to nearly 35 lakh registered patients annually and offers critical care services to millions of patients across northern India.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. Trump's teleprompter operator placed on leave after an investigation into alleged trading activity. US slabs 25% tariffs on Brazilian imports, prompting WTO challenge from Brazil. And SpaceX abruptly scrubs a Starship test flight. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, US President Donald Trump reeled off extraordinary claims of voter fraud and Chinese meddling in US elections in a speech to the nation that doubled down on his claims to have won the 2020 election. In a televised primetime address from the White House, Trump's speech focused on election security 4 months before the critical midterm elections. In the speech, Trump declassified intelligence that he said showed Chinese interference in US elections, reviving his long-running attacks on election security. Trump also said that there were more than 250,000 non-US citizens registered to vote in 4 states.
Over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening.
Well, 2 of the 3 major U.S. television networks and CNN did not broadcast a primetime address by President Trump on their primary platforms. During his speech, Trump said that networks that did not air his speech were engaged in a plot and should have their licenses revoked.
In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses, They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting.
Well, U.S. President's longtime teleprompter operator Gabriel Perez is on unpaid administrative leave after an investigation into alleged trading activity. Prediction market platform Kalshi identified the suspicious trading activity through information collected as part of its customer onboarding and market surveillance processes and referred the matter to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Now, Perez is under investigation by federal regulators over potential insider trading on Kalshi. Perez, the teleprompter operator, is said to be fully cooperating with the CFTC on this matter. Also, the United States on Thursday launched a scathing attack on left-wing extremists, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio calling for global cooperation to fight a new wave of this old evil. In opening remarks at a ministerial meeting hosted by the U.S. on the resurgence of political terrorism, Rubio said that far-left terrorism had become a blind spot after the scrutiny on jihadist extremism following the September 11, 2001 attacks. Officials from more than 60 countries joined the meeting that is aimed at globalizing the fight against left-wing terrorism, which the Trump administration claims is on the rise. Now, the conference in Washington has sparked Democratic concerns that the Trump administration is politicizing counterterrorism efforts and diverting resources from other extremist threats. In a speech, Rubio announced a new visa restriction policy that would target members of groups who have supported or incited violence or economic sabotage.
However, our counterterrorism doctrine has had a blind spot when it comes to extremist violence from the political left. Even today, the very idea that far-left terrorism could be a serious threat is treated as a right-wing fever dream, or worse, as a dangerous fascist conspiracy. Here in my country, so many people in positions of power have repeatedly dismissed acts of violence and even terrorism as legitimate forms of political expression, so long as they served a left-wing cause.
And U.S. forces launched strikes against Iran for a sixth night in a row, and Tehran hit back at U.S. allies in the Gulf as the foes battled over the vital Strait of Hormuz. Now, U.S. Central Command also said it had redirected 3 vessels trying to circumvent the blockade since it went back into effect amid renewed fighting. The U.S. military said American forces boarded a ship in the Gulf of Oman as part of Washington's renewed blockade of Iranian ports. The White House said Iran continues to talk to the U.S. and wants to make a deal. White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt said that the Strait of Hormuz is open for ships that are not traveling to or from Iranian ports, and that the U.S. Navy remains there to ensure that can take place. Also, Iran's news agency reported that locations in the southern Iranian port city of Bandar Abbas were hit on Thursday night by U.S. attacks. The strikes caused power outages in parts of the city and damaged a communication tower as well. A residential area in Bandar Abbas was also hit, leaving at least 7 people injured. Local hospitals are currently providing emergency medical care to the wounded as well. Meanwhile, International Energy Agency Executive Director Fatiha Birol said if the U.S. and Iran do not increase oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz soon, the world should worry about energy security. And for more on this, we have Akhilesh Suman joining us. Well, Akhilesh, U.S. and Iran have intensified strikes on each other despite IEA warning of growing threats to global oil security. Where do we see all this going from here?
It is really a very difficult situation to say that where it is going now. But what signals are coming from both American and Iranian side is that the war is going to spread. Because Americans are also targeting the civilian infrastructure, as Iran has claimed two bridges have been, attacked by American bombarders, and Iranians have told that, other civilian infrastructure has also been attacked by US bombs. So in that situation, Iranians are telling that they will spread the war to other civilian targets in the neighboring countries. That means Bahrain, that means UAE, that means Saudi Arab, that means Jordan, that means Kuwait. So every country will be under attack of Iran. So in that way, till now, Iranians have been attacking the US, bases, military bases inside all these neighboring countries. But now, if Iran is threatening that they will also attack the civilian infrastructure in those neighboring countries, that means it is going to be a full-fledged war between Iran and other neighboring countries also. Because if Iran attacks the neighboring countries' civilian infrastructure, civilian places, that means those countries would also have to retaliate. Till now, what they are doing, they are intercepting the missiles and drones coming from Iranian side. But if the civilian sites are, attacked by Iran, they will also make counter-attack. They may make a counter-attack, and in that way, I think that they will also get involved in this whole war between US and Iran. And now it will be like West Asia and US versus Iran. So I think this is going to be a very dangerous situation. But still, situation is not out of control. There are rooms for both Iranians and Americans that they can come to the negotiating table, and they should decide something about, especially about the Strait of Hormuz, because the Strait of Hormuz has become the bone of contention for America, because it is American prestige is involved, because before February 28, the Strait of Hormuz was open, and after February 28, the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and Iranians are claiming that the Strait of Hormuz is Iranian property. So in that way, I think that some midpoint might be coming, but a whole flexibility has to be shown by Iranian this time, because there was already ceasefire. Iranians and Americans have started talking, in between Khamenei's burial also took place. But in between that burial, Iran attacked the ships coming through the Strait of Hormuz, and that is the major provocation in this point of time, that no ship is passing through the Strait of Hormuz, either of going to Iran or coming from Iran or going to anywhere in the West Asia through that Strait of Hormuz. And Iranians are also telling that they will also close the other pass that is just adjacent to other side of the Persian Gulf. You can say that in the Gulf of Oman, if you pass through another state. So I think that room is there, space is there, but the whole question is whether Iranians will be flexible in this point of time.
So a big question there. There's still room for negotiation, but let's see where it goes. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those details. And Yemen's Houthis warned that they would target Saudi Arabia's oil facilities and other infrastructure if conflict escalated between the two sides, days after the airport in the rebel-held capital Sana'a was struck. Now, Yemen's Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi said on Thursday that all Saudi oil and other vital facilities would be targets for the group's missiles and drones if Riyadh escalated its involvement in the conflict. The warning came after the Houthis fired missiles at Saudi Arabia, accusing the kingdom of bombing an airport under their control on Monday, marking a rupture in a 4-year truce between the two sides. And the United States announced 25% duties on many imports from Brazil, launching a new wave of tariffs that could affect dozens of countries. The Brazil tariffs would be levied on thousands of imports, including sugar, agricultural machinery, apparel, electrical machinery, furniture, ethanol and paper. The late-night announcement made Brazil the first country targeted under Trump's new tariff strategy. Now, the new tariffs are scheduled to take effect on the 22nd of July, 2 days before Trump's temporary 10% global tariff is scheduled to expire. The final order maintained exemptions for Brazilian beef, coffee, aircraft and other goods, but expanded that list. Trump's previous global tariffs under an emergency law, including duties of up to 50% on Brazilian goods, were struck down by the US Supreme Court in February. And Brazilian President Lula da Silva said the U.S. decision was unjustified and that Brazil would begin proceedings under its reciprocity law and raise the matter within the WTO dispute settlement framework. And German Chancellor Friedrich Merz welcomed French President Emmanuel Macron to Germany, where Franco-German government consultations will take place today. Now, the two joint declarations are expected following the Franco-German Defense and Security Council in a broader joint ministerial meeting near Cologne. In a brief statement, Merz said France and Germany will discuss deepening cooperation on nuclear deterrence, missile defense, long-range strike capabilities and space as well. The two sides will also discuss Macron's proposal for forward nuclear deterrence, unveiled in March, under which European allies could participate in French nuclear deterrence exercises and temporarily host French nuclear assets on their territory. And SpaceX on Thursday scrubbed what was to be its first Starship flight since the company went public, abruptly calling it off just as the booster began to ignite. Some of the engines didn't start, triggering an automatic launch abort. Now offloading propellant. Next launch attempt hopefully in a few days, wrote company head Elon Musk on X. It was to be the Mammoth rocket's 13th flight overall. When it eventually takes off, the flight's aims will be similar to those of a mostly successful voyage carried out in May, which debuted the latest edition of the powerful Starship, its third-generation model. The goals of that test were essentially to demonstrate the new designs in flight. While marking the 205th anniversary of Peru's independence, the Embassy of Peru has launched Peru, a Symphony of Flavors, a 4-day festival introducing authentic Peruvian cuisine and Nikkei gastronomy to diners in Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City. From vibrant ceviche-inspired creations to smoky grilled anticuchos in Peru's iconic pisco, the festival offers visitors a journey through one of Latin America's most diverse culinary traditions. The festival is much more than food. It also celebrates the growing friendship between Peru and Vietnam through cultural exchange. Beyond the dining experience, the event inspires greater cultural understanding and encourages more exchanges between the two countries through tourism, trade and gastronomy. All right, time now for a short break. We'll be back in a while.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke with Qatar's Amir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani to convey India's condolences over the passing of former Amir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. Remembering the late leader's contribution to bilateral ties, Prime Minister Modi said his enduring legacy would continue to guide India and Qatar as the two countries deepen their strategic partnership. This came days after India observed a one-day national mourning in honor of the former Qatari leader, reflecting the importance New Delhi attaches to its relationship with Doha and the late leader's role in strengthening those ties. And Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal is leading a high-level Indian delegation to Finland comprising senior business leaders and government officials to strengthen bilateral trade, investment and industry cooperation. Piyush Goyal held separate meetings with Finland's Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Riikka Purra and Minister of Economic Affairs Sakari Puisto, discussing ways to strengthen bilateral economic ties and exploring how the proposed India-European Union Free Trade Agreement could further boost boost trade and investment between the two countries. The discussions focused on strengthening cooperation in financial markets, innovation, enterprise financing, and expanding bilateral trade and investment. Goel also addressed the India-Finland Business Forum held at the House of the States in Helsinki. The visit witnessed the signing of two institutional memorandum of understandings, ministerial-level discussions and extensive engagements between Indian and Finnish industry across key sectors, creating new institutional mechanisms to promote industry collaboration and facilitate greater business engagement between the two countries. In his address, Goel highlighted the shared ambition of India and Finland to double bilateral trade by the year 2030. He emphasized that India's vast talent pool, growing economy and manufacturing capabilities complement Finland's technological expertise.
That desire, that urge, that aspiration to put in the best, to work long hours, to work extensively, partner with all of you, work along with you to co-create, co-design, co-innovate, co-produce, co-manufacture, co-market, both in India, in Europe, all across the world. A sea of opportunities that we are potentially opening up as we finalized the free trade agreement between the European Union and India.
Well, the National Testing Agency has declared the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test Undergraduate 2026. According to the NTA, nearly 20 lakh candidates appeared for the examination, which was held on June 21st, 2026. The highest score of 715 out of 720 was jointly secured by Aryan Gupta from Punjab and Panchul Bansal from Haryana. A total of 138 candidates scored above 690 marks, while 19 candidates scored more than 700 marks. Well, Guwahati's new Terminal 2 is redefining the way airports connect with culture and nature. Inspired by Assam's iconic bamboo and kopu phool, the Bamboo Orchids terminal blends traditional design with modern aviation, creating a gateway that celebrates the region's identity. As it earns global recognition for its architecture, the terminal stands as a symbol of Assam's heritage, meeting India's infrastructure ambitions.
Passengers entering Guwahati's new Terminal 2 at the Lokpriya Gopinath Bordoloi International Airport could be forgiven for thinking they are entering a bamboo grove rather than an airport terminal. The Bamboo Orchids Terminal draws its architectural inspiration from Assam's iconic kopu phool or foxtail orchid and locally sourced bamboo, giving the massive structure the appearance of a bamboo forest. Giant sculpted columns greet passengers on arrival, while departure gates are lined with digital screens playing loops of nature imagery, blending art with everyday travel.
This is the new airport, Guwahati T2 terminal. Even I have been here for the first time, and this is quite unique. So they have decorated this, or the whole structure is made out of bamboo. The theme is basically a bamboo theme. So the airport is quite good when you visit the old airport, when you compare it to that. So even Guwahati airport has come a long way with that of if you compare it with Mumbai, Bangalore and other tier 1 cities.
Passengers from Assam say the nature-inspired design fills them with pride in their heritage.
As Assamese, it makes us feel proud of it that our airport is also ranked as one of the best. So feels good, and more to come. As you can see, it's still under construction, so expecting more shops, outlets, more footfalls in this airport.
The terminal has used around 140 metric tons of locally sourced bamboo. It is designed to handle over 13 million passengers annually by 2032 and is emerging as a modern gateway to Northeast India, one that showcases the region's cultural identity alongside its infrastructure ambitions. The terminal, along with Navi Mumbai International Airport, were recently named among the world's most beautiful airports for 2026 by the prestigious Prix Versailles, which recognizes exceptional architecture and design worldwide.
And on to some weather updates from across the world now. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued weather alerts across several parts of the country, warning of heavy rainfall in eastern and northeastern states, while heat wave conditions are expected to persist in some northwestern and southern regions. Odisha and Arunachal Pradesh remain under orange alert for heavy rainfall, while yellow alerts have been issued for several other states. At the same time, heat wave conditions are likely to continue in parts of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu, with the IMD advising people to follow weather advisories and take necessary precautions. While Spain is facing an increasingly severe wildfire season with more than 57,000 hectares of land already burned across the country, major fires have been reported in several regions including Andalusia, Catalonia and Valencia, forcing evacuations and road closures. Around 1,600 residents were evacuated as prolonged drought, high temperatures touching 44 degrees and strong winds continue to create dangerous conditions. Well, Canada is also facing an intense wildfire season with hundreds of active fires burning nationwide and more than 100 considered out of control. Wildfire smoke from northwestern Ontario blanketed parts of Canada and the northeastern United States, reducing air quality across the region. Thousands of residents have been forced to leave their communities as authorities work to contain the blazes and protect areas at risk. Ontario requested federal support, including possible military assistance, to help evacuate remote northern communities threatened by the wildfires. The wildfires blanketed a broad swath of the United States from the Midwest to the Northeast on Thursday, prompting officials to warn residents to stay indoors. Detroit had the worst air quality of any city in the world on Thursday with a reading of 600. Federal data showed dangerous smoke levels across Minnesota, Michigan, northern Illinois and northern Ohio, with at least 10 U.S. states reporting unhealthy air quality. And in Texas, at least 2 people have died and hundreds have been rescued after torrential rains triggered severe flooding across parts of the region. Authorities carried out more than 230 rescues as 59 Texas counties remained under flood watch. Officials also warned of continued catastrophic flooding risk through Friday morning and the possibility of tornadoes. Similar advisories were issued for the scenic canyon areas of southern Utah. In Hungary, near record low water levels on the Danube River are disrupting travel and tourism, with cruise vessels stranded and sightseeing trips suspended in several parts of the country. Authorities say the river has fallen close to its historic low, though water levels are expected to improve in the coming days. Well, an intense frontal weather system battered part of the Chilean coast on Thursday with heavy rain, storm surges and strong winds, causing damage and forcing evacuations in the country. Authorities worked to restore power after the storm left over 500,000 people without electricity, while schools remained closed across 9 regions. More than 1,500 people were evacuated from a riverside settlement in Chile's metropolitan region. Well, thousands of devotees in Manipur celebrated Rath Yatra, known locally as the King Chingba, with prayers and a traditional chariot procession in Imphal. The festival, blending Vaishnavite traditions with Meitei customs, will conclude with Kanglen on the 10th day.
Faith, tradition and devotion came alive in Manipur on Thursday as thousands of devotees celebrated Rath Yatra, locally known as Kang Chingba. The annual chariot festival commenced at the Sri Sri Govindaraji temple in Imphal, where people gathered in the morning to offer special prayers. Following traditional rituals, they joined the ceremonial chariot procession, which made its way through the city amid chants, hymns and a deep sense of religious fervor.
आज हम यहाँ पे कांग जत्रा जो कि पूरे विश्व में
We are here to celebrate Kang Yatra, which is known around the world as the Rath Yatra. On this sacred occasion, we have gathered at the Sri Sri Govindaji temple. All the devotees, the Vaishnav community, have gathered as Lord Jagannath, Lord Balbhadra and Goddess Subhadra, the three siblings, ride together in their chariot on their aunt Gundija Devi's home.
में बैठ के वो सवारी करके अपने मौसी घर जा रहे हैं।
Celebrated since 1832, Kangchingba is deeply rooted in Vaishnavite traditions and enriched by indigenous Meitei customs. It is known to draw devotees from across the country every year.
So it's I think one of the oldest ceremonies since 1832. Sorry, 1832 it has been celebrated, and this is the 194 years I think of fourth year of. It's called Kang. Rath Yatra is called Kang. Huh? So we always feel whenever we come, now the third generation, even my children come here, and we feel very good.
Rath Yatra is one festival which is such a big festival in India, and right from Jagannath Puri to every other place, it is celebrated with such aplomb. And here in Manipur to witness it is a wonderful thing, and that's why I am here.
The festival will culminate on the 10th day with Purna Yatra, locally known as Kang Lane, symbolizing the ceremonial return of Lord Jagannath and his siblings to their traditional abode, bringing the grand celebration to a close.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. Wildfire smoke challenges FIFA final. And PV Sindhu will face Nozomi Okuhara today in the quarterfinals of the Japan Open. Sindhu booked her place in the last 8 by defeating world number 5.
We head into nature looking for something untouched, and then thousands of us arrive with the same map, the same photos and the same destination.
Our philosophy, our tenet is very simple. You leave an area just as you found it or better, right? So if we find rappers, we pick them up. We make it a point so none of our members litters on the trail. We don't leave anything behind.
In this lab in Yogyakarta, scientists are scaling up the production of Wolbachia eggs to turn killers into harmless insects. From 8 million Wolbachia eggs a week to 36 million. Generations of good Wolbachia mosquitoes hatch here, ready to be released into the wild.
Protect the deer from stray dogs and other animals that could harm them. I also make sure they have water, food, and shelter. That's why the deer have chosen to stay here.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and on to some business news now. Asian markets ended sharply lower on Friday, with technology stocks leading losses amid fresh concerns over high AI-related valuations and continued profit bookings by the investors. Tokyo and Taipei witnessed steep declines as heavyweight chip makers and technology firms came under pressure. The weakness followed losses on Wall Street, while renewed tensions in the Middle East also pushed crude oil prices higher, adding to investor concerns over global inflation and market stability. And 29 countries on Thursday signed an agreement in Shanghai on establishing the World Artificial Intelligence Cooperation Organization. According to the agreement, the WAICO will be an independent intergovernmental international organization headquartered in Shanghai. Representatives from the 29 countries, including Kazakhstan, Laos, Russia and Indonesia, signed the agreement, making their countries the WAICO's founding members. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres was among representatives from countries and international organizations present at the signing ceremony. The organization aims to promote international cooperation and global governance on AI, ensuring that AI is beneficial, safe and fair, thereby promoting its healthy and orderly development to benefit all of humanity. Well, you're watching DD India News. Our time now for some sports news. The three-match ODI series between India and England is now level after England registered a 4-wicket victory in the second ODI on Thursday. England chased down India's target of 234 in 44.1 overs, finishing on 235 for 6 with 35 balls to spare. Joe Root anchored the innings with an unbeaten 99, while the Indian bowlers picked up wickets at regular intervals but were unable to defend the total. Virat Kohli scored 65, while Shreyas Iyer contributed 66 as the pair helped India recover after early setbacks. However, from a strong position of 178 for 3, India lost the remaining 7 wickets for just 55 runs. With the win, England have levelled the three-match series 1-1. India had won the opening ODI in Birmingham by 6 wickets, setting up a series-deciding third and final ODI at Lord's on Sunday. And PV Sindhu's eagerly awaited quarter-final against home favourite Nozomi Okuhara at the BWF Japan Open Super 750 never got underway, with the Japanese former world champion handing the Indian a walkover. The result sends Sindhu into her first Super 750 semi-final since the 2023 Denmark Open and marks her third semi-final appearance of the 2026 season, underlining her resurgence after beginning the year ranked world number 18. She has since climbed back into the top 10 and is now world number 9. Well, the FIFA World Cup final is facing an unexpected challenge as heavy smoke from wildfires in Canada spreads across parts of the United States, affecting air quality in several regions, including areas near the venue for FIFA's title clash. A thick layer of smoke from hundreds of Canadian wildfires has covered parts of the Midwest and Northeast, with officials warning residents to limit outdoor exposure due to unhealthy air conditions. The conditions come just days before the FIFA World Cup final at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium, where more than 80,000 fans are expected to attend the match on Sunday. Weather forecasts suggest rain on Saturday, with showers and thunderstorms likely. The rainfall could help clear some of the smoke, although the extent of the improvement remains difficult to predict as of now. Authorities are monitoring the situation closely as preparations continue for football's biggest match, with organisers expected to keep a close watch on weather and air quality conditions ahead of the final. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.